Cheating in Jeopardy tournaments, is it possible, is my question. I have a theory that it could be, and here's why. If you watch the Jeopardy tournaments, you know they have what they call a quarterfinal round, which is 5 games. They take the 5 winners plus the 4 high scores as wild cards into the semifinals, and those 9 players play 3 games where only the winner moves on, unless you had a deal like happened just recently in the tournament where they had a 0 out in the semifinals and they took the high score. They had a 0 out in the quarterfinals years back in the old senior tournament, which they don't have anymore, and they wound up taking 5 wild cards and 4 winners. But now let's get back to how I think it could happen. It involves the 4 wild cards. I'm guessing they tape all 5 of the quarterfinals on the same day. They may not run the shows in the order they tape, but in my scenario, this wouldn't matter. What I'm thinking, if a player, and this could take place on the teen tournament, the college tournament, or the tournament of champions, or even the teachers tournament. Let's say you got somebody in the audience, which most players do, especially the teens. They have somebody in the audience. Okay. Only natural. Now let's say you're down to the 4th game of the tournament, of the quarterfinals, the first round, I call it, the 4th game. You got somebody in the audience that in their head is keeping track of the high scores for the wild card position, the non-winners. By the 4th game, they could know. Say you're sitting there with 13-5 and the high score so far of the non-winners of the 6 so far is 10,000. Could they come up with a signal to cough, do something? Obviously you can't holler sit on it, sit on your money. You can't just holler out, I'm sure, sit on your money. But could they come up with some way to cough? Now the contestants are not allowed to watch the games that precede theirs just for that reason, because obviously if you're on the tournament, if you're in the 4th game of the quarterfinals and you know what the high scores are, and you're sitting there with more than the wild card score, high score, with only 2 more coming the next day, you're going to stand on it knowing you're going to go into the semifinals. But if anybody knows, I've been curious about this for several years. If anybody knows anybody that's been in the Jeopardy tournaments, or they've attended the Jeopardy tournament and know if they have a way to prevent it, I'd like to know. Will you post it in the comments? I'm a Jeopardy fan. If I'm not home, or if I'm watching a ball game or NASCAR or something, I'll DVR it. But and I said DVR, not VCR this time. I made another vlog before and I said VCR, and I thought, got a comment. I said, good grief, did I say that? That's so 80s. Got a comment, something to the effect that's so 80s and 90s, which is true. But if anybody knows if there's a way to prevent cheating during the 4th and 5th game of the quarterfinals, will you post it in the comments?